Hi, I'm Jackie Ochitwa from With a Twist Balloon Creations in Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. And today we're going to be making a snowman. So what we're going to be using is a red 260. We're going to be making this into a bracelet, but you can also turn it into a candy cup. We're going to be making the scarf out of a green 260. The body is just going to be a 12-inch white quick link. The arms, a 160 in the mocha. This is going to be our bracelet loop, the 160 in the red, and then just the black for the hat. We're using a 5-inch round and a 260 in the onyx black as well. Let's get started. We are going to inflate our red 260 with about 5 inches of tail left. Tie it off at the nozzle end. Give it a squeeze to soften. We're going to be making 6 loops on this. 3-inch bubbles. And we're just going to make about a 1.5-inch loop. So this space I use for most of my bracelets. Like I said, it also doubles as a candy cup. Just stick it on top of a dome lid and put a 5-inch round in the bottom. And it's going to use the exact same flower petal base. So I'm going to snip off the tip and just use that tail to wrap around snug and then snip off the excess. Just position those flower petals to get something like this. Now we're going to put this aside. And the next step is going to be inflating the 260 in the lime green, and that's going to be our scarf. So we're actually just going to start this off, and it's what we're going to be using to make sure our quick link doesn't unravel. So I just made a 3-inch bubble followed by a 1-inch pinch twist, and we're just going to soften that, and we're going to put it aside just so that it's prepped. And we're going to start with our quick link in that 12-inch. And this is going to be his body. So what I'm going to do here is overinflate it, just so that I'm stretching that latex out, because we want this to be quite soft. I'm going to let out a whole bunch of air, squeezing it as I go. We want it to be about 8 inches when we're done. And I'm just going to tie it off. We don't want to leave too much slack up here, otherwise he's going to have a real pointy head. So I'm going to take this squishy 12-inch, which is now at 8, and I'm going to split it into 2. Now for proportions, I want the top to be a little bit smaller than the bottom, because this head is going to be a little smaller because I want kind of a fat belly. I'm just going to squeeze it off, and you're going to end up with this. Now the reason we prep the scarf is I'm just going to tie that around really snug. And just wrap that around that pinch twist. And then I'm going to make one more 3-inch bubble. Cut off the excess and tie it. I like to leave a little bit of tail at the end of these. I find it just makes that scarf look kind of cute. Although I am going to cut off that nozzle. Try to match them up a little better. Now that quick link can still unravel, so we're going to do one more step, and it's also important because it's going to be his arms. So I'm going to stretch out this little bit on the nozzle end. The air in the balloon is going to want to go where it's easiest. So if I stretch out that little bit, it should want to go into there. So I'm going to make about a 2-inch bubble, tie off the nozzle end, and just push the air down there. You see how it wants to go into there? I'm going to take this bubble and put it here. So I'm going to stretch that tail end. Really stretch out that latex. Now, this should want to pop up here. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to see. Oh, it actually went this time. I mean, it works every time. Sorry. So we want to make sure they're similar. I'm going to find the midpoint on that, and I'm going to wrap them through that neck area. I'm going to do it a couple of times to make sure that that quick link doesn't let go on us. And he's got these funny little arms that kids like to dangle. I'm going to take this end, tie it off, that quick link end, and that's going to go right into our flower petal. Just like that. We are going to start with this hat with the 5-inch round. We're going to inflate it to about 5 inches and tie it off. And that's going to tie right into the nozzle end of the quick link. And I'm going to snip off those nozzles. We don't need them. And now we're going to inflate our 260 in the black. Inflating it to about 16 inches, we are going to start with 2 1-inch pinch twists. And these are going to be tucked into the back of the hat. I'm just softening it a bit, and it's going to go right around the top. I'm going to measure it off, wrap it around. I'm going to find my nozzle again because we are going to tie that into the tail of that 260. And the final bit of twisting for this is just going to be the little band that we're going to attach our bracelet with. So I like to grab the tail and just pull all the air out and tie that nozzle end off. Then you end up with a little bit of a ribbon. So I'm going to take that nozzle end and wrap it around that flower petal. Measure off as much as you need. If it's an adult or a kid, you can adjust it. Wrap it around a couple more times and snip it off. And this is going to be our snowman. Let's get started with the face. I am going to grab my black Sharpie, and to start, we're going to make a black circle at about the midpoint. Just going around until I'm kind of happy with the shape, and then I'm going to fill that in with the side of the Sharpie. And while it's upside down, we're actually going to do the left eye as well. Just make a circle as best as you can. We're going to go around it a couple times. And then fill it in again with the side of that Sharpie. Just going to make the top a little bit rounder here. I'm going to do a couple little eyebrows. I'm going to start at the midsection of his eye and just give it a little flick down. And do the same thing here. Now for his nose, since he is a snowman, we're going to give him a little carrot. So I'm going to start right between his eyes, kind of high up. Make a funny little wave. Just like that. On the bottom, we're going to make a succession little flicks. Come right back up to the middle. I'm going to let that dry now because if I were to add the orange, the black would bleed a little bit. So I'm going to give him a little mouth, which is just going to be a bit of a comma coming down. And I'm also going to give him some little freckles. So we can move on to the color now. I'm going to give him some pink in his cheeks because he's been outside, he's a little chilly. We're going to give him a couple little blush marks. And then one more down here. Try to get them as round as you can. And I think our nose is going to be dry enough now that we can fill it with that orange. over it a couple times, get it as dark as you can. And then our last little bit, this cute little snowman bracelet, is just white in the eyes. And you're going to do these on the inside corners, in the top part, on either side. And it's just going to give him a little sparkle. And I'm also going to give him just a little shine on his nose. And that is my little snowman. So you can just take that little bracelet, slap it on, and there he is. I'm Jackie Ochitwa, and this is my snowman bracelet, created with Qualatex.